Cool, so welcome, Kirsty.
Thank you. I first of all would understand maybe what their blockers may be and come up with solutions with them. I think it's really important to sit down, show active listening and understand why they may have worries about working with third-party recruiters and kind of give them some reassurance and understand what their focus is, whether it's delivery or they have issues around like their process management, and see where I could support them with that. Yeah, typically I would book a first introduction call and just understand their style of working, whether they prefer on-call or like asynchronous communication. That way I can adapt my style and then just figure out what their background is, how they like to work, what their concerns are, and how they like to interview, and then try and adapt my style to that. I think it's really important to be able to be malleable when working with like lots of different types of personalities. Sometimes you have people that are also really, really busy and they expect you to do a lot more of like the groundwork, or some people who are a lot more autonomous and you're just there as a support. So I'll just see where I slot in and try and figure it out from there. I think first of all, just to be able to be successful in hiring, but also to be able to show them that hiring and recruitment, it is difficult, and showing them best practices. And once we leave and eventually roll off of the project, hopefully that they will adopt that kind of way of working and be successful, and wherever they decide to go, hiring is not deemed as something that's like extracurricular. It's actually just part of the job, and it's important to do it properly the first time. I think active listening for sure, just understanding what the pain points are, maybe where they're lacking or where they may need support. I tend to kind of adopt their language and how they like to speak and communicate as well, just so it shows that you're listening. Also, once I get off of a call, I tend to send like a debrief back to whoever it is I'm speaking to, just to show what we went through and over communicate. I found definitely over the last couple of years, over communication is key, just to make sure everything's documented, because once you have those conversations on a call, recruitment is like 100% of our day, and it's like a really small percentage of their day. So they probably log off, go about their day and forget what we spoke about. So yeah, definitely debriefing and making sure everything's kind of documented for them to refer to as well. Just repeating back, like I said, making sure that there's documentation and that processes are being followed, and that way you can hold people accountable. If they've agreed to do something in a certain way, or they've said something, or they like to work in this way, and we're doing that and for some reason it's not working, I'll say, well, when we spoke last time you said that asynchronous communication is best, but you're not replying. Why is that? Like, is it better for us to maybe have a weekly catch up and we can go through everything on a call? Just holding people accountable, because it's not all down to the recruiters, unfortunately. Yeah, I think getting to know people. We're all people at the end of the day. Whether it's a CEO or like a head of, like, they're not scary. Just, treat it as just a general conversation. Really understand, what they want from you, and focus on that, and then build a framework behind that. And being consistent is key. And I think doing what you say you're going to do is very important. It's all well and good saying, we can build out this really cool like hiring strategy, but you actually have to do that, because they have expectations around that as well, and ultimately that's what they're paying you for. So being able to stand by what you say you're going to do, and being consistent and delivering, and holding yourself accountable as well, but also making sure that they're aware of their part in the process, because it's also very important for them to be hands-on, I think. Yeah, it's quite hard, because I think when you work remote, a lot of the conversations you have with stakeholders or just colleagues in general tend to be focused on work. So I think setting time aside on booking those coffee chats, or having like the first 5 minutes of a call, just how was your weekend? Just, it's a little bit more personable, and that way you feel more inclined to approach somebody if you have a little bit of a personal relationship. I think as well, if you're fully remote, communication is key. Being able to have an SLA internally that if you have a message to respond within 24 hours or even just react so people know that you're there and you're seeing things happen, because we get really busy and engrossed in our work, but communication and just putting time aside to actually get to know people and understanding their style and way of working, I think. It's a good question. It depends on the personality, but I think just letting them know that I am here to help you, and in order to do that you need to help me to help you by being responsive and being open to different types of solutions, because ultimately we're there as a solution for them. So we need to understand first of all what the problem is. Is it just a case of that you need to hire a lot of people? Okay, in that case you need to be more available for interviews and feedback needs to be timely. So yeah, just letting them know that if you're not going to be responsive and you're not going to help me, unfortunately I can't help you as much as I would want to. So just letting them know that, and being really open and friendly helps, not just kind of being so transactional. I find that's kind of a bit off-putting and just too business focused.